What's up, fam? It's Tanya Talk with Tanya J Miller LLC. You guys know we do life, we do leadership, we do unapologetically on purpose. That means every day we're trying to help you to figure out how to fit the puzzle piece of life together so you do life right and you do it well. So we are talking about this week, why, is it sometimes so difficult, so much of a challenge, so far-fetched to really have faith, to really have hope, to really trust and believe. And so one of the things I was hitting on was kind of a conversation that had got started at the Fearless Millennial brunch that I had went to over the weekend. And one of the speakers, Napoleon Barnes, was kind of saying some of it just kind of comes from your childhood, because you can't relate to having faith that if I ask for something that it's going to happen, because you kind of never maybe experienced that in your life, in your childhood especially. And so the crazy thing about it was, once again, we was talking, me and a hubby, and he just started sharing kind of this story about Stinker. I told you about Stinker. And just basically, as a child, you don't know what you don't know. And what's your normal is your normal. And I started thinking about the show New Normal. There's all these different things. And I just really began to think about what he was sharing this with me. I thought about one of the things that my parents did. And anybody that has been around me and knows me, or especially if you read things my mama said, the book, this is a principle, and that's probably why I believe Ephesians 3:20, that he's a God like that, because this is how I was raised. And so what I can tell you is my parents did not have exposure, if you will, to things. One of them grew up in the projects, the other ones grew up in Stop 6. Shout out. But I guess technically they was both Stop 6. But yeah, that was what it was. And, didn't know what the suburbs was, didn't know what all these, different experiences and opportunities was, a brick house, 2-story, things like that. And so one of the things that I remember so much, because this was what they said, this is what they did, this is what they lived, was that we may not have ever got the opportunity. We may not have ever seen it as a child, but we know it exists. And because we know it exists, we're going to do everything we can to ensure that we can either expose or provide. Hear me when I say expose or provide. And I'm probably going to hit on that more tomorrow, because that's a lot of it. That's a lot of the root of it. But basically, it was them making that conscious decision to expose us to different things and have us a part of different things. Go to, theaters, go to symphonies, go to concerts, go around the country and visiting places and, trying new things and wanting more and seeing more, that we were able to know it wasn't just our four walls. It wasn't just our four and no more. It wasn't just what I saw and that's what it was. And so I say that all to say, bringing it back home, is that, you cannot put your faith, you cannot put your hope, you cannot put your trust, you cannot put your belief in the box of what you are exposed to. You cannot put God in a box. You cannot limit him because you got limitations on you of what you've seen, what you experienced, what you know. You're doing yourself harm. You're doing yourself injustice. You're not giving you the opportunity to really see and allow God to be God in your life. And so because of that, a lot of times you don't have the faith, you don't have the trust, you don't have the hope, you don't have the belief. And so whatever you think you can get or do is limited to that, and is limited to you thinking and doing that you are the only one that can do it and make it happen. And so when you actually finally ever give God a try, you probably wore out, you probably tired, you probably frustrated, you probably everything in between. But God been like, I've been waiting like the whole time, yo. Like, I've been waiting the whole time. Like, I've been here. I'm trying to figure out when you was gonna tag me in. Like, I'm trying to figure out when you was gonna be like, let me take my hands off it and give it to the man with the master plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta figure that thing out. And if it take you going back to the root of it, to that childlike faith, then do what's necessary. Because God ain't in a box. And he's only there if you put him. And that's the wrap. God is not in a box. And if he is there, it's only because you put him there. Take him out the box, fam. Take him out the box. Peace, y'all.